Let's give Serena a big round of applause. So Serena has been my most loyal Australian client. Probably one with the biggest heart of everybody else. I mean, there's no question. She won Australian Entrepreneur of the Year last year. And it's funny, is she was at my speech in Singapore. I was speaking, there was 9,000 people. And she bought my program there. And tell the people, what is it that they said about me when you bought it?
Is that, you mean the people that were messaging me when I said that you were there? Well, I had a couple of friends, from all different parts of the world, that said, you know, what are you looking at JT Fox for? You know, he's a scammer or something like that. And I'm like, what? And I went on Google and researched him, as you do, but usually I do it after I buy something, but I did it before this time.
That's the way to do it.
And of course there was, you know, the normal bullshit that's out there that they put about people. And I thought, well, I like to make my own decisions about people. So I made the decision before anybody had even moved. He hadn't even said the price or anything yet. I went straight to the back table and signed up. And I've actually been doing that here as well a couple of times. Because if you really like something, price isn't, well, it is important sometimes, but usually isn't important. And I signed up there and then. And, you know, there's still people out there that puts that sort of bullshit out there. But you
it's
know,
always that people never buy.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's right.
You never have people like, I bought a program, I bought a coaching, and it's bad. It's always the people who can't afford it, which just sucks because most people, we look for things that are wrong online. Now, by the way, ironically, this is over 3 years. Have these people come back and said, well, maybe I was wrong?
No, no.
And that's the point to all of you. You will never, ever, ever, ever prove someone who said you're not going to make it, and then they're going to come back and say I was wrong.
And they see my feeds all the time of everything that's happening to me as well.
They'll just like, oh, she drank the Kool-Aid, or she's, you know, a cult, or, you know, I mean, that nonsense, because they would have to, like, I'll give you an example. So let's say people voted for, did not vote for President Trump, or did not vote for President Obama. No one after 8 years or 4 years is going to come back and says, you know what, he was pretty good, he was a good president. The only people who change their minds are people who voted for the individual and say, he didn't do what he was supposed to do. No one who does not vote for an individual comes back and says, oh, well, you know what, I was wrong, because people don't like being wrong. And that's the big problem. There's only one thing being worse than wrong, and that's dead wrong. So that's a big issue as well.
I like Trumpy, by the way, even
what?
before. I like Trumpy as president, because he's different and he does things differently.
You know, I didn't expect you on topics. The problem, many of you internationals don't like Donald Trump because of, here's my problem. If I listen to CNN, I get one view of the world. If I listen to Fox, I get another view of the world. My personal would say to this, until you've met an individual, don't make judgments. Because think about this. All of you here have or now have a different opinion of me after this event. And a lot of you tell you things about me that are not true. And many of them have never met me. Because you can't explain this here today. Like, we can't explain it. You understand, no matter what we do, it'll be never impossible to explain what we experience here, what you're going to experience this afternoon, and it's going to be amazing. You just can't explain it. We can't feel it. Yeah, but here's the thing. That's the word. That's why it's so hard to sell the word wow. That's hard. It's because wow is a feeling. It's not something tangible and measurable. I mean, right after lunch, I'm going to interview a celebrity, and one that has had one of my greatest impacts in my life. And he's a very big name. And he's in the green room, probably watching this. But and Serena took a chance. And, you know, are you here to talk about the outsourcing?
Well, that's what I was hoping. As I just looked at the time and I went, oh, wow.
Yes, but if I talk about it, it'll probably go much better than if you talk about it. Am I right?
Probably, because I'm very right-brain, and
yes.
he knows me very well as right-brain.
Exactly. Because
I'm like him.
Serena has an outsourcing company that does everything, whether it's the marketing, the branding, the virtual assistants, and we use them. So we've used them for SEO. In fact, our magazine person that we initially went through screwed us, and we needed it done, and it got done in a week because of Serena's people. So personally, I would say it's one of the best kept secrets. Partly is because Serena is just so much about different businesses, but to us, her services never let it down. And if you want to outsource at a dramatic lower price, because some of the cost and marketing and designs that we do, I mean, pretty much do everything, correct?
Yeah, video and graphics as well. We love doing the videos. And when they talk about what's the difference between yourself and your competition, you know, it's really hard in the outsourcing business to say what your difference is because there's so many outsourcing companies. But the thing that you don't know about most of the outsourcing companies is some of them, they've got a website that represents themselves, but it could be one person working at home who can come up with, you know, many problems as to why they don't finish your job. So, you know, we've been trying to seek what our wow is that we can offer other people that somebody else doesn't. And the biggest thing that I come up with is as Cassandra said before, customer service, number one. I drill that into my team all the time. You stay on back of the customers even if they don't stay on your back. And speed of implementation. So they're the two biggest things that we implement in our business to keep that difference. And then the third biggest thing is me, because I get to meet people and understand their business because I'm in amongst you all the time, and therefore I can then help make sure that the job gets done sort of more effectively.
Because outsourcing, I mean, I will tell you this, having paid for a lot of people, it's 80, 90, and sometimes 95% off of what I would pay. And it's also sometimes much faster to get things done, which makes a very, very big difference. The problem is that most outsourcing, you have language barriers, issues.
Yes.
That's the number one issue. And by the way, here's a little secret. Our head, I'm going to put this out there, our head IT person, graphic designer, website person works for us full time. He lives in Pakistan. So our head Francis person that does not enter our office in Florida is actually in Pakistan, and he's been with us for 4 years. He must make a lot of money because he comes to America 4 times a year. I tell Francis, what do we pay him? He keeps coming to America. It's an expensive flight. But it just goes to show outsourcing is possible. What would be the best advice you have when people outsource with the language barrier, dealing with people, and then you assume because they make less money, they must not be as smart, which I think that's a generalization.
One of the things I want people to really understand, because there's a lot of people out there talking about outsourcing, or they're representing an outsourcing company, and they make out that everybody is similar to maybe what's in your own country, you know, with the language and all that. And it's not. You are dealing with third world countries in some sense. English is their second language. I have an office, a fully blown office with employees, and they speak good English, but there still can be that misunderstanding or misinterpretation of something that, you know, can be said. So I like to try and make sure that the expectations is not up here, that it's where it needs to be, so that then they can blow you out of the water when it goes higher, rather than just have it right up the top all the time. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you know, I've known Serena for a long time. I believe she hasn't talked enough about her outsourcing company. In fact, I don't know if Francis said to you, if you want me to buy it, I will buy your company. So, or I'll be partners with you because it's a great service.
I thought we were talking about that next
Oh,
week.
we're talking about it right now? We're
Top 1%.
Pardon me? Oh, we are
The
going to
top
talk about it.
1%,
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
So, I mean, whether I buy it or not, it's irrelevant. We use it. And I don't like sometimes giving endorsements of stuff like that. It really works. And how do I know? If it wasn't for her, that magazine never would have been done. Her people made it happen. Give Serena a big round of applause.